Welcome back to Hardball. That was Michael McClanahan of the Baton Rouge NAACP calling for what he wants in justice today. This after a black man was shot outside a convenience store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, early Tuesday morning. Police say 37-year-old Alton Sterling was shot by police after getting into a confrontation with officers who were responding to a 911 call. Now, tonight, we can tell you there is brand new video out of this shooting. This was recorded on a cell phone by the owner of the SSS Food Mart. Now, we're going to warn you, as we have, and showing some of this throughout the day, this is very graphic and disturbing. It shows two officers on the ground with Sterling. Does not show what happened leading up to the incident, which could be crucial. Now, the owner of the store who took this video, the new one, says he saw one of the officers remove what he believes was a gun from Sterling's pocket. But the video is itself inconclusive as to what was removed by the officer. Now, in this other separate video, one officer appears to shout, "He's got a gun." We'll play that for you.
Oh, they shot him? Oh, my goodness. Oh.
There are conflicting accounts about what happened. The chief of police telling reporters Sterling was armed, but later when asked whether he was armed, he referred that question now to the federal investigators at DOJ, who just today opened a civil rights investigation into the case. That is unusually fast. The officers accused in the shooting have been identified as 4-year veteran Blaine Soleimani and 3-year veteran Howie Lake II. They have been placed on administrative leave. That's standard operating procedure. Joining me now for more on all of this, Louisiana Congressman Richmond and Val Demings, who served as the police chief of Orlando, also running for Congress. Val, when we look at this kind of situation, we have a slice of video. We do not have all the videos. We do not know all the before and after. I want to ask you a fair question, which is based on the video we do have. Do you see anything wrong?
Well, first of all, let me just say that it is definitely a tragedy that has occurred in Baton Rouge. My heart goes out to the family and everybody who was there that had to witness it, everybody that will be affected by it. We know that all of the facts are not in. We need to see all of the video from every different angle. We also need to interview all of the witnesses and certainly track down the initial caller that I think can provide some very crucial information. But looking at that very narrow piece of video, I do not personally see anything, any actions that the suspect made that would dictate the use of deadly force.
You're saying the way the suspect was pinned to the ground, and we can probably show part of that again on our screen here so people see it again, that the way the suspect appears to be pinned or restrained on the video that is available, that doesn't pose the kind of threat that would justify the officer's use of deadly force?
Well, as I said, I spent 27 years at the Orlando Police Department. I've worked the streets. I've worked in just about every different division, rose up through the ranks to become the chief, worked in internal affairs and investigated shootings. They're very, very stressful. There's a lot of pieces of information, physical evidence, and statements that need to be taken. But when I look at the video without all of the information, and it's still early, but without all of the information, when I look at the video that has been provided, I don't see anything from viewing that that the suspect did that would justify the use of deadly force.
Congressman Richmond, what about you?
Well, I was concerned when I saw the video last night, but looking at the video that was released today only doubles my concern, and my troubles are increased. I mean, it's very problematic to see that video and realize that someone lost their life in that manner. And I agree with Val that looking at that short clip of just a moment in time, the use of deadly force seems very unreasonable there, and only confirms that you need an outside independent law enforcement body to investigate this shooting.
Congressman, you were telling some of the Hardball staff before the show that getting the federal investigators involved can sometimes take weeks or months. How fast was this compared to precedent, and what was different this time?
The only thing I can tell you is that I am a sum of my life experiences, and after Katrina with the Danziger Bridge and the Henry Glover case, it took years for justice to come in on Danziger Bridge. The New Orleans Police Department investigated it, closed the investigation, ruled it self-defense because the decedents had fired on the police. Well, the FBI comes in a couple years later, they do a year-long or so investigation and find out that the decedents weren't armed at all, never fired on the police officers, and wind up charging them, convicting them, and now they ultimately pled guilty after the appellate court got involved. So for Justice Department to be involved this early is unique, but in this case I think it was very warranted because we really had to give the community a sense that this will be done by the rules, by the book. It will be thorough. We're not going to sweep anything under the rugs, and we're going to make sure that we answer all of the questions that are raised by this video, and that we're going to let the facts take us wherever they lead us.
All right, Congressman Richmond and Val Demings, thanks to both of you. Appreciate